Oh hey, didn't see you there. I've been on a bit of a drought when it comes to anime. See, I decided to stick to exclusively the genre of anime with a blue cat named Happy, and after Fairy Tail, I don't know where to go. Eden Zero is the third work by Hiro Mashima that started production shortly after, or well, possibly simultaneously as Fairy Tail's final arc. Originally, Mashima wanted to do another story with the sword and sorcery type setting that he's done twice or so before, but he noticed that the space setting wasn't exactly too used in shonen manga, so as a challenge to himself, he decided his next project would be what he called space fantasy, which was his misinterpreted definition of SF, the abbreviation of sci-fi. Wait, SF doesn't stand for sour cream and onion? The series is still pretty new, being the newest I've covered on my channel so far, so reception's still rolling out, especially with the anime just now getting released in the West, but reception has been a mixed bag, but solid enough. A reviewer named Amy McNulty gave it a 3.5, saying it had a solid start, but it may not blow anyone away. Most other reviewers had similar opinions, and they also had concerns over the fact that there was just casual time travel introduced in the series, and that can result in some things being overcomplicated. There's also the issue with the fact that a lot of characters in the series literally look either very similar to other characters in Fairy Tail, if not being completely identical, like here is Natsu and Shiki being the protagonist of Eden Zero, Rebecca and Lucy, Happy and Happy, yes they are literally the same name, and my personal favorite, Urza Scarlet and Elsie Crimson. Man, Hiro Mashima's gonna be pissed when he finds out Hiro Mashima just keeps stealing his designs. Regardless of those issues, that didn't stop Eden Zero from getting an anime announced just 2 years into circulation, which was to be animated by JC Staff, but wait, it doesn't end there. Also in 2020, it was announced that there wouldn't be just one game, but 2 games in production, a console RPG developed by Konami, the studio behind so many iconic projects. From what we've seen, it looks really good, but I'm getting off topic. The other game's a top-down mobile game, both of which are going to be in the Unity engine. It's just really impressive for a manga, even before it got an anime, to get a video game announced, and so early into publishing, but let's go into the actual show. And we can start with the start, the opening. At the very least, the first one couldn't be more perfect for the 12 episodes it covers. We get introduced to characters and dynamics perfectly. We can see how troubled but optimistic Shiki is. We can see that Rebecca and Happy have some good old-fashioned shared trauma. Yeah, trauma's best when you share it with friends. Wait, that's food. Oh, I have a lot of apologies to send out. We get a preview how this blonde character, Weiss, treats everyone else, the dynamic between the show's doppelgangers of Urza and Jalal, Elsie and Justice, the space pirate and the space police. The action sequence in this section kinda shows us all the fights that we see in this 12 episode run, and it makes you excited to see these people for the first time. Now I will address the elephant in the room a bit more. My first reaction seeing this opening was kinda just, is that Natsu? Is that Lucy? Is that Happy? Is that Gildarts? Is that Wendy? Is that Urza? Is that Jalal? The blatant reuse of designs and stuff from Fairy Tail is hard to get used to, but it's forgivable because while the character designs are nearly, if not literally identical, the personalities and situations everyone in does feel completely separate. Though coming into Eden Zero as a Fairy Tail fan, I feel like the similar designs are good for playing with expectations. You expect the character that looks like Urza, that being Elsie, to be a morally strong character who always does the right thing. You expect it to be Urza but in space, but no. She's a morally gray space pirate, and every character that has a Fairy Tail doppelganger follows a similar trend. Shiki at first feels just like Space Natsu, but the biggest thing about Shiki is that he has a reason he needs to grow, or an issue he needs to grow from. Well, Natsu was goofy, but in a way that was virtuous, in a way his world kind of rewards. Shiki, however, wants to become friends with everyone he can, and he has to learn that, well, you probably shouldn't be friends with everyone in a world or universe where human trafficking is kind of just a thing that's there. Like, one time I knew this guy who double dipped his chips, like after he took a bite he'd dip it again, and like I didn't want to know what kind of hell he would raise in my life. While these character aspects can be enjoyed without the layer of tricking your expectations, I feel like it's added enjoyment that very few properties can utilize well. Another aspect I really like from the show, I really like the power system. Though it feels like it does need a lot more explaining and exploration before it can become great, it does have a very technical feeling to it where characters have to be creative with the way they fight because of their powers. Those powers being called ether gear, which kinda makes the character's body act like a machine to produce a certain power or effect, but it's only one power, so each fight kinda feels like a battle of who can make the best utilization of their specific ability. Like Shiki's gravity ability, which he uses to fling himself around by changing which way is basically down for him. And Rise has a machine altering ability which can modify anything to operate how he sees fit, within limitations of course. It's just interesting because it feels more like they have to adapt their powers to the situation rather than the situation feeling like it was built around their powers. Bet you didn't expect this, I actually have my own ether gear. It's a disguise ability. Watch this. Oh whoops, the camera's already rolling. Haha, you fools have no idea where I am. Another thing that gets explored and pretty early on is the concept of time travel, and it's explored in a very interesting way. Well, at first it's hammered in to not change anything or else the future could change. When you're in the past, you learn that there are creatures called chronophages that eat the time away from a planet, which basically causes the world that's time gets eaten to go back to where it was however many years ago. Which sounds like it would kind of path correct itself, because if undisturbed, if 5 years were taken back, within the next 5 years everything would be back to how it was. But with other planetary travel just being a normal thing, the world changing is basically inevitable because of outside intervention by characters from worlds not affected by the taken away time. Like Rise, in Shiki's time he's an old man scientist, but he's from a planet that's time was eaten away, so there exists another younger version of him that's from the past, but I guess nothing is negatively affected because it's almost as if a different timeline's created. I can't find the time to figure out how to explain time travel without like making it overcomplicated. I know, I'm just gonna go back in time 10 minutes and just find a way to work this out. You know, when I first saw his sparks, I thought my fork in the microwave diagram was working better than expected, but I think one of the best examples of time being played within series so far is the planet Gills, which was crime-ridden, but thousands of years of time was eaten away, effectively killing everyone on the planet. However, it was an evil and polluted planet that was returned to a more pure and beautiful time before its corruption. So it kind of raises the question if changing the past is a bad thing, because just like preventing good things from happening, it can also prevent bad things. You can also learn the other most important lesson in Eden Zero, like the fact that the blue cat turns into a pair of dual pistols. I'm not gonna go anywhere with that, I just felt it was really important to bring that up. Though I will say the best thing about Eden Zero is the exploration feeling. Each planet visited has a unique gimmick and a unique culture, but none of it's treated like an insanely strange thing, just as the fact that each planet functions the way it does. There's just a casual robot amusement park planet. There's the, crime planet. You can explore these and explore the power of friendship, trying your hardest for your goals, and the true value of life being present even if the life was artificially created. I didn't expect that last part. While it's a very cut and dry, yes, they are alive because they have feelings, it's still such an interesting thing to highlight in a futuristic setting, and it's a discussion that never gets old no matter how many times I hear about it, and it really sets itself apart again from Fairy Tail, really proving unique value in the space fantasy theme. Eden Zero is similar to Fairy Tail, but also pretty different, like to a point where I could believe someone would prefer one over the other or even dislike one of them. Regardless, I'm excited to see where this show goes in the uncharted shonen territory of Sour Frame, space fantasy.